I pulled out some new stuff this week and some straight bangers, so stay tuned, fellas. Hey, what's up? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. I hope all you guys had a great week, all smelling great as usual. I know I certainly was with these 7 bangers I put out for the week. Now, if you aren't familiar with this weekly series we basically just run down what fragrance I wore, how many sprays, the kind of weather outside, and of course if that fragrance got attention, complaints, etc. But before we get into my rotation, you already know the drill. Drop your rotation and down below. I want to see what you guys are smelling like, but let's get right into Monday. Monday was in the high 70s and sunny outside, and I went with the brand new Banana Republic's Marshmallow and Lavender. Now, if you caught my overview of the entire new collection, which came out with 3, you would know I had high expectations with this one, but it honestly was a little bit too sweet for me. Now, on Monday, I did do 8 sprays of marshmallow and lavender. The marshmallow is way amped up compared to the lavender, guys. I wish they would have put more lavender in here, made it a little bit more aromatic, maybe even a little bit more spicy, but they did not do that. I also did get a compliment, however, from my girl. She said that it smelled really good, but it didn't suit for the day because it was very hot outside, sunny, and I was even poolside, guys. And like I said, this is way too sweet for that kind of weather, unfortunately, because the notes sounded so good, but it just didn't live up to my expectation. But if you do want to check out this one or any of the new ones from Banana Republic, you can go to So Avant-Garde, of course, use code HUNTER10 to save some money, and I believe that's the only place you'll be able to find these at. And they are also extrait de parfum, so they do perform very, very good, higher than like the original Icon line. So yeah, that's what I wore for Monday, is a new Marshmallow and Lavender. Tuesday was in the low 80s and sunny as well, and I put out the brand new Gravel Eau Desire. So if you never heard about Gravel, they made fragrances back in the day. They are a niche brand, but they kind of revamped their entire collection in new bottles, got new fragrances, and I'm kind of digging the name style they're going with, Eau Desire, which I think is sick. Now, this one is the first one I've worn from this line. I do have all 4 of them. This is gonna be this kind of bright, fruity, spicy fragrance. I think you get some saffron and nutmeg in the opening, but you do also have like bergamot and mango, which kind of makes it very complex and different. But it does start to dry down into this kind of cumin, cloves, patchouli base. And the cumin, unfortunately, is a little bit too much for me personally. If you know me, I'm not a fan of cumin at all. It's one of my least favorite notes in perfumery. This one does have a little bit too much cumin for my personal preference, but still a pretty solid fragrance that is unique, different, and very much niche. I also did do my usual 8 sprays of Eau Desire. The performance was pretty good. These are also, I guess, an extrait de parfum, so you know they should perform at least the majority of the day. This one it did. And you can also go ahead and check this new line out over on So Avant-Garde if it does interest you, but that's what I wore for Tuesday. Wednesday was in the high 80s and sunny, so very nice, and I pulled out a new fragrance called Plume Impression Murmur D8. Now, this is brand new in the collection, guys. I know it's been around for a while from Plume Impression, and I believe one of the most popular from this house. And I only have 2 experiences from them, which is Royal Bourbon, which is a fantastic boozy kind of cinnamon style fragrance. This one right here, guys, if you're a fig lover, you're gonna have to check this one out because it might personally be one of the best fig niche fragrances I've tried, especially lately. And I'm not usually the biggest fan of fig, but man, Plume Impression did a fantastic job with this. I believe you also get this kind of cypress gabanna opening. It's ultra green, very fresh, kind of like walking outside in a forest. You also, of course, have that fruity green fig, and it's just one of the freshest, greenest figs I've ever tried. Perfect for a hot summer day like on Wednesday, and it kind of just dries down into this sandalwood, creamy, kind of woody base. Just an amazing fragrance, and I'm glad to have in the collection, and probably the fragrance that shocked me the most that I wore that was brand new for the week. Now, I did get a compliment from my girl early on when I applied this one. She's like, wow, that smells amazing. But then later on in the day, she did say it kind of smelled like rubber. Now, I don't know what made her think that or what she smelled that was giving off that rubber vibe. It might have honestly been that fig. Because after she said it, once I'm smelling it over and over again, trying to detect rubber, I kind of see where she was coming from. But she says a lot of fragrances smell like rubber, so I don't know what she's talking about, guys. But still an absolute banger from a Plume Impression that I do recommend for any fig lover. Thursday was in the low 90s and sunny, the hottest day of the week, and I did pull out the brand new Banana Republic Sandalwood and Musk, which is by far my favorite one from the 3 releases they just came out with, and you would know that if you caught my overview of all 3 of them. But this one right here, guys, you're gonna get this very luxurious, earthy, waxy orris root, which is very similar to the iris, just a little bit more earthier, but it does, of course, dry down to this kind of clean, woody, sandalwood, and clean white musk. And it smells very expensive and just very clean and easygoing. The kind of fragrance you can spray on wherever you go and you'll be set. It kind of is very versatile, signature scent worthy, and like I said, the best one from the 3 new releases. Yeah, this one's very solid. So if you love sandalwood, musk, and of course that earthy orris or iris, you're gonna dig this fragrance. Now, I did do 10 sprays of sandalwood and musk. This fragrance lasted a very, very long time. Of course, being an straight, you would of course kind of expect that. It is also the longest lasting one from the 3 they released. And I know a lot of you guys are saying this is probably gonna pop up at Burlington in like a year. I'm not really sure about that because the last release, the straights that they released, I think last year, they're still not at Burlington. I have not seen those. You only kind of see the original icon launches there. But these ones are part of a completely different collection, guys. They're straights, they're higher quality, etc. But of course, time will only tell. But that's what I chose to wear for Thursday. Friday was in the high 80s and cloudy outside, and I put out one of my favorite hidden gem niche fragrances, and it is Bouchard Cobert's Knife Thrower. Do you guys know about this fragrance? Have you heard about it? Because if you haven't, you gotta check this one out, especially if you love something like Bulgari Tiger, Sospiro, Vibrato, and of course my baby, Louis Vuitton's La Mesite, because it's going to be in that same realm with the grapefruit, ginger. However, though, this one is a much greener, earthier take on that DNA from this fern note, guys, and this stuff is insane. I love this one, and I cannot believe I have not reviewed it yet because this stuff is a true banger. And I even did wear it as like a signature scent for like 2 weeks in the process of a move. I had like a travel spray of this one, and this was my everyday go-to fragrance, and I fell in love with it. Oh my goodness. I would say it's probably closest to Louis Vuitton's La Mesite, and that's my signature scent right now. Just maybe a little bit less ambery and just turned up on that green earthiness. And you just take a look at this bottle in the name. That is a sick Knife Thrower, and it has like a knife with a fern in the background and maybe a grapefruit or something below the knife. But yeah, this stuff is sick. Now, I did rock 8 sprays of Knife Thrower. The performance is excellent, of course. Probably, of course, better than Tiger for sure, and on par with Vibrato and La Mesite. So let me know down below if you want to see a full review of Knife Thrower, because this stuff is a true hidden gem. Saturday was in the mid 80s and cloudy outside, and I put out the brand new Ralph Lauren Rouse Club New York. Whoa, guys, this might be the best new flanker of Rouse Club easily, and I believe it's the 4th one in the line now. And I do own the original, I do own Rouse Club Elixir and now New York, and this stuff is incredible, guys. If you love sweet fragrances, you're gonna love this because it's the sweetest Rouse Club in the line. It opens up with this fruity, kind of tangy blackcurrant note. Of course, in the mid, you're gonna find that signature aromatic spicy lavender, but in the base of this one, guys, is where things change, because you're gonna get this sweet, spicy, creamy vanilla, and it's a vanilla take on a Rouse Club is how I would kind of describe it, to be honest. Just the sexiest, seductive Rouse Club in the entire line, and might be my new favorite one. And just might be one of the best new designer releases of 2025 so far, at least in the second half of 2025. So yeah, this stuff is insane, guys. For any Rouse Club lover out there, you're gonna love this one, I guarantee it. Unless you're just weird and hate vanilla, then possibly not. So I did do 10 sprays of Rouse Club in New York, and I gotta say, I don't know what Ralph Lauren did with this. The performance is insane, guys. One of the strongest recent designer releases. I'm not even joking. When I showered after doing 10 sprays, I'm talking like 8 hours after applying it, it was still on my skin like so vividly. After showering, I couldn't even get it completely off. And I'm telling you, I'm in the shower scrubbing with the loafer, guys. I'm not messing around when I'm in the shower, but this stuff just stayed on, and I believe it's only an eau de parfum. So that's what I wore for Saturday, which is easily one of the best new designer releases in the second half of 2025. Sunday was in the mid 80s and sunny outside, and I wanted something kind of peaceful, easygoing, and I went with Gucci Guilty's Love Edition 2025. When this fragrance first came out a couple months ago, it got so much hype, and I was one of the ones hyping this one up for very, very good reason. If you love those kind of fresh, powdery, clean fragrances, something like, of course, Yves Saint Laurent Myself, you're gonna love this one if you haven't already tried it, because it's a better take on Myself, in my opinion. It's a little bit less powdery from the white florals, but it's still definitely there, the orange blossom. And just like a clean, bright bergamot, that clean, powdery orange blossom florals in the mid. And you just cannot go wrong as a signature scent with Gucci Guilty's Love Edition. I believe I just kind of chilled on Sunday, went for like a nice walk in the park, etc. It was a beautiful day out by the lake. And this is just a perfect fragrance for that, guys. Easygoing, dumb reach, fresh and clean, and one of the best ones in this realm of things, period. So if you haven't tried this one, I would recommend it, especially this might be a limited edition because they have came out with love editions in the past, like certain, like different years. So this might be like done away with after 2025. And I did do 8 sprays of a love edition 2025. The performance is very solid, on par, or if not even better than the original myself. So no complaints with that, especially from a fresh, clean fragrance. So that's what I wore to wrap off the week on Sunday is Gucci Guilty's Love Edition 2025. So that's gonna do it for my weekly fragrance rotation, guys. Per usual, if you haven't already, drop your rotation down below. I want to see what you guys are rocking with, what you're smelling like, etc. And maybe even put me on to some new stuff because I know you guys pull out bangers just like me. But besides that, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already because what are you doing? I got you guys with the daily fragrance content and I'll see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.